Annual outbreaks of seasonal flu usually occur during the fall through the early spring, and in a typical year, approximately 5 to 20% of the population actually get the seasonal flu, and it can actually also be deadly. Dr. Alan Miner with the Health Quest Chiropractic Team joins us today to tell us how to stay flu-free. I want to be flu-free.
I do too.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, great to be here.
Welcome to Monday morning. And you know, I guess as Kristen was saying, you know, things are going to start to get cooler, and now we're approaching that flu season. Why is it actually not all year long? I mean, why is it just this segmented period of time?
Do you ever wonder that?
Yeah,
It's weird how the flu happens in winter time, and there's been a lot of research recently about that.
Okay.
And we're fortunate, let's start off by saying, because we live in the Southwest and we have these blue skies and it's sunny.
No doubt.
There's a few factors and variables, but a big one we're learning is vitamin D. Vitamin D is something that our body makes from sunshine.
Okay.
And when we look at during the wintertime, most people, it's colder out, the days are shorter, and so we're not out in the sunshine as much as we normally are the rest of the months.
Sure.
And so when we look at the flu places like back east where you're from, there are higher rates.
Right.
And you know, my family's from back east, so when we go back during Christmas, it's always cloudy and it's gray.
Dreary.
Exactly, and so they're not getting sunshine. We also know when you even go to tropical climates, it's not necessarily cold, but it's during the monsoons. When it's the rainy season, it gets cloudy, and so again, people aren't getting exposed to sunshine, so you're not making that vitamin D.
Well, I was thinking, you know, I mean, it seems like it's a logical answer to common sense. You would just say, well, it's the winter, it's colder, that's probably why. But I lived in Miami for several years, and it was still flu season. It didn't change. It's still sunny, still hot, but still the flu season.
Now, there's another variable to this as well, and that's, I really see a correlation with what we're putting in our bodies and lowered immunity.
Really?
And if you think about coming up right now, it's Halloween, it's and then we go into the holidays, and I would argue that people consume a lot more sugar during the fall months, which again, we know sugar suppresses our immune system and makes us a lot more susceptible to the flu or whatever bug we happen to be around that day.
It is sugar time. I mean, is that sugar time? Is that why it's more emphasis on protecting against the flu now? Is that why that is?
Yeah, in large part. And you know, it's interesting, if you look at the germ theory that, you know, we all kind of just say, yeah, that's how it works. There's germs on things. Actually, we're starting to learn that that's not the whole picture by any means.
Okay.
I mean, think about that stat you said a minute ago, 5 to 20% of people get flu. Well, what about the 80 to 95% of people that don't ever get the flu? What's happening with them? They're still sitting next to people who have the flu. Why aren't they? They're still working next to people. Your kids are sitting next to people.
I'm talking about airplanes, right?
Airplanes, and so why isn't everybody getting it? And so, although the germ theory is not necessarily true, we do believe in the gross theory, and meaning things are gross. And so we're not saying don't wash your hands and take good care of yourself, but your health has so much more to do with what's going on inside. Here's a quick analogy. If you have a dump and it starts attracting, let's say, mice and rats, you can put out poison and kill them, but they keep coming back every couple months. And so our body's
temporary fix.
Exactly, and that's what we see happen with things like antibiotics. It's the environment you have to change. You get rid of the dump and the rats go away. Same thing in our body. We get rid of sugar, toxic stress, lack of sleep, all these things that lower our immunity, and all of a sudden those bugs go away. And so instead of always taking antibiotics and knocking down the sickness, we'd rather help build up a person's health.
Well then, so then how do people decrease their immunity? If you're looking at that analogy, practically, what do we need to do?
So there's a handful of things. First, that's why chiropractic care is such an important part of a person's wellness lifestyle. Regular adjustments help your body function better. Your nervous system is controlled or controls your body's immune system. So when you breathe in something, it's your nervous system that coordinates the immune response. So we start there. Then things like we talked about, you've got to watch your sugar intake. One soft drink will suppress phagocytosis. Some studies show up to 5 hours. That's where your cells kind of act like Pac-Man cells and eat the bad germs. That stops happening when we've had about a soft drink worth of sugar.
Really?
Yeah. And then you throw in stress, lack of exercise, lack of sunshine. You know, one of the things we do in our office is blood work to measure people's levels of vitamin D. We know there is study after study.
You can actually measure that then?
Yes, we do through blood, and there's so many studies coming out today showing that your health correlates to vitamin D. We see that there's a correlation with cancer rates and people's vitamin D levels, and that is a supplement that you can take too much of, so it's something you want to get a baseline for where you're at. It's a very inexpensive supplement, but if you're not in the sunshine, which is the best way to get vitamin D, it's the next best thing.
Well, that's a good thing for us in New Mexico then. At least we know we do see a lot of that sunshine. So even in the car, I mean, when you're driving, it's always, there's the sun.
It is.
And that does give you that vitamin D.
And we have lower rates of flu than, like I said, people that are higher latitude.
Let me ask you a question, speaking of lower rates of flu. I want to ask you personally, because, you know, you are the professional, but I want to ask, when was the last time that you and your family actually got the flu?
And I'm proud to say we never have. Now,
knock on wood, knock on wood.
Now, we do occasionally get sick, but not the flu.
That's amazing.
And here's the point. At Health Quest, we teach people at the first sign of getting a cold, come in and get adjusted.
Okay.
So our staff is around everything, and yet we rarely get sick.
That's amazing.
And it's because we're practicing what we preach, and so our immune systems are working better. So yeah, we breathe the stuff in, but it's not a big deal, whereas somebody whose immune system's been compromised, they're more susceptible to getting sick.
I'm so coming in. There's no question. I mean, and as we were talking about with holidays, with Halloween, with the candy, with the sugar, with the traveling, so many things going on, we really do need to protect ourselves. And if there's ways that we can prevent these things from happening, and we can also stay, you know, more immune to these options, then there's no reason why not.
Yeah, I mean, there's another way today. That's the point.
That's great.
Is there's so many other ways for us to get healthy than what maybe we tend to think of as in our tool bag.
Yeah. So. Would you, really quick, just regarding travel, would you recommend that somebody does anything any differently right before they are about to travel? Because, you know, when you are in that confined space of an airplane, I tend to always get sick when I travel.
But here's the thing. You don't go from healthy to sick.
Okay.
There's an unhealthy, you've got to be unhealthy for you to get sick. So the time is not, you can try taking something to boost your immune system, but the key is what have you been doing the weeks before?
Good point.
And you won't get that cold if you're taking good care of yourself.
I didn't even think of it that way. You're right. Okay, so let's tell everybody where you're located so they can come in. I will be doing the same thing.
Certainly. We're at 3824 Masthead. That's down in the Journal Center off of Jefferson. And our website, New Mexico Chiro, has all kinds of these stories and many other topics about how people are healing naturally here in the Duke City and through chiropractic care and through nutritional counseling.
Absolutely helpful always, Dr. Miner. Thank you so much. I am trying to get more sleep, by the way, thanks to you.
It makes a difference.